Report Sports. It's crazy as hell in the NBA. A lot of stuff moving, a lot of people moving. Let's get down and busy and talk about the week of trades. Let's run it down top to bottom, see what's happening. First off, big trades. Let's start off from the top. Marcus Morris re-signs with the Los Angeles Clippers, a focal point that wasn't utilized as well as I wanted him to, but a big focal for the Clippers is retained. They keep that going. And matter of fact, let me start here. JaMychal Green is the next move. Goes to the Clippers, moves from the Clippers to the Nuggets. There's a lot of moves with the Nuggets. I'm worried about what's happening there for the big Denver. I got to do a separate video there. They were an amazing team on what they had. Not sure what they're doing right now. However, Michael leaves and heads over there. He's going to be taking the place of some of the other guys we're going to talk about that have left. Remember that name. Spurs keep Podol. Again, Spurs are a consistent team. 3-year, $27 million, $9 million a year. 5-5, not bad for the kid, and not a bad pickup for the Spurs. A solid player, he re-signs, all right? Next guy is Pat Connaughton, one of the three-point gunners for the Milwaukee Bucks. He re-signs on a 2-year, $8.3 million deal. I keep mentioning the salary just so you guys understand that there is a cap and there is only so much a team can do. All right, moving on. Justin Holiday agrees to a 3-year, $18 million. That's about $6 million a year for Mr. Justin Holiday. He's retained with the Indiana Pacers. They are trying to again go back to the playoffs. Next up, Orlando Magic retain James Ennis. Don't like this move. I really don't. I despise it. As a matter of fact, because of the talent that's out there and the talent that they could get. Not sure why they're retaining James Ennis. However, he's a solid player, solid defender. I guess that's what they're looking for. Now you see the Morris trade. 4 years, $64 million. Yeah, that's about $14 million a year. Guys, that is now pedestrian in the NBA. When you start to see the rest of the salaries, you're going to go, wow, yeah, I need to play basketball. Next up, Robin Lopez headed to the capital city. Washington decided to get some defensive anchors. Wall's coming back, right? They have their big two guard, and now they've also drafted Danny Avdija. They're an interesting team. They could be the comeback team of the year. Couple more pieces. Like to see what they do there in Washington. Really, really sleeper team. No one's talking about. Boom, bam, boom. Derrick Jones leaves the Miami Heat. I thought he was a very important prospect, even with limited minutes to that team. The big athletic gunner heads over to Trailblazers. Very, very interesting. A sneak move. Be careful, folks. His athleticism, his energy. I like this. Derrick Jones gets an opportunity with the Trailblazers. Interesting to see what they do with their other young forwards. Christian Wood finally solidified himself. This dude's been making numbers all day long in the G League. This is a really a testament to just pushing and keep on trying. There should be a story about Christian. I love his game. Heads over to the Houston Rockets on finally getting paid $41 million, 3 years. You know what? If anyone deserves it, it's him. That's about $13 million a year, 14. That's a great move for Christian, an exciting opportunity, and probably the best big man that the Rockets have ever had. Temple comes back. Garrett Temple comes back to the Chicago Bulls. 1 year, $5 million deal. Doesn't really play that much. Joe Harris. I don't know what the Nets are thinking. They wanted Harden. They wanted a couple folks to play on this team. And they re-signed Joe Harris for $75 million, 4 years. Not sure if this truly makes sense, folks. You're talking about $18, $19 million a year for Joe Harris. Not sure what they're doing here for a spot-up shooter, but hey, they made their move. Jeremy Grant in a big move, by the way. Jeremy Grant is a tremendous talent, improving his three-point range. Big acquisition. I think this is going to hurt the Denver Nuggets. I don't know what they're doing. I know they want to swing in Michael Porter Jr. They didn't draft Jaden McDaniels. They got Bo. But it's a different dynamic. Jeremy Grant made them special. Not sure why they didn't retain the kid, but he goes ahead and moves on to the Detroit Pistons in a more prominent role. 3 years, $60 million, well worth it for Jeremy Grant. Gets the opportunity to actually play. Is Blake Griffin staying? Is Drummond staying? Man, there's a lot of talent there on Detroit. When I continue to go down, you'll see it. Wizards make up for lost time. They pick up Bertans, 5-year, $80 million deal. Again, 15, let's talk about 16. Yeah, about 15 a year for Mr. Bertans, a solid player. Again, it looks like that's the range for those guys. Your fifth or sixth option, your 3-point gunner. You're gonna get $80 million. So exciting opportunity for the Wizards. They retain and add Hamachori. Again, a lot of talent there. We got to see Bradley Beal, right? Wall, Danny Avdija. We just saw them move in. Who's the other guy they just moved in? Let's go back up, guys. They just moved in, not Jones. Where is he at? Robin Lopez. So interesting play for this team to get Bertans along with that. I think they're a sleeper. Not the greatest team, but I think they can sneak in the playoffs. Knicks signed Mr. Alec Burke, a tremendous scorer, 9-year vet, 15 points, 4 rebounds. Heads over to the New York Knicks. They had Alonzo Trier. They waived them. Something must have happened. Must have been an attitude thing. But they signed Burks, a similar player with more experience. Has done what Trier has done a long time. So we'll see how that works out. Pretty good move for this team. Harrell, this is the big one, right? Montrezz Harrell should have been the first thing I talked about. He leaves and goes over to the Los Angeles Lakers as the reported action. LA, big city of dreams. Wow. Just to give you some more context, Dwight Howard has left for a $2.5 million deal with the Philadelphia 76ers. He took it when he could grab it. Not sure why he grabbed it that quick when he got guys like Bertans making, $80 million. I would have waited, Dwight. You probably could have slapped a little $8-10 million deal, but it is what it is. Take it while you have it. I get that. Harrell now moves over to the Lakers. And again gives him another weapon. Scary to see a younger, more athletic. I think at this point Harrell, but don't slight Dwight Howard. His defensive presence in the playoffs, his energy was huge. Now Anthony Gill, old vet, moves on to the Wizards. Not sure if that move. Again, there's talent out there. Don't understand what some teams are doing. There's big talent out there you can have for cheap. Trey Burke, go ahead and return to the Mavericks. A nice move there for the Mavericks. Continue that cohesion with their team. He's going to stick with with Dallas and Mr. Doncic. This is the Dwight Howard move. Agrees to a 76ers deal. He will be coming off the bench. Don't tell me he's going to play with Joel Embiid. Doesn't make sense. You got Ben Simmons and Embiid and a nice backup center. I thought Nerlens Noel was headed over, but I guess that's not happening. So they agreed to a cheaper Dwight Howard and see how that works out. Gallinari signs to the Atlanta Hawks. So I think this is an interesting move for them with Danilo Gallinari, who agrees to leave the Thunder and move on to the Hawks. The Hawks are trying to make some moves. It doesn't bode well for some of their rooks that we're supposed to be developing, a la the man out of Duke. I'm not going to say the name, but interesting move to get Gallinari. They want to win now, and Capella, Trae Young, a vet like Gallinari, they're committing to make the playoffs this year, and they may have a good push. Timberwolves retained Malik Beasley. They're going to give him $60 million, 15 a year. Not sure of this move, but if you look at his scoring, averaged 20.7 and 33.1 after being traded over from the Denver. Denver really gutted their team, but so I think this is a good move for Timberwolves, and I tell you what, from a team that's totally turned it around from being in a losing situation, trying to get a winning one. Let's talk about Minnesota. I'm gonna make a video on Minnesota, Denver. Minnesota is dangerous this year. We got to look to them. They have a lot of new things that I love. Rodney Hood, Rodney Hood returns to the Portland Trailblazers after an injury, $21 million for 2 years. I agree with him on signing with them. He needs to re-show what he can do. Josh Jackson, man, one of the number one players way back in the day. He goes back to the Pistons. It's going to be interesting to see him come back to that team. The Pistons, again, another team making big moves. Wizards, Pistons, quietly making strong moves. Atlanta Hawks as well. Interesting to see the East Coast bring back some more headway and more competition. Jazz decided to bring back Derek Favors and re-sign Jeremy Clarkson. So nice move for the Jazz here. Bring back their big. I don't know what the Pelicans are doing, but obviously they're developing the young man from Texas. And Favors is in that mix as well. He was a center. So, hey, Favors, thanks for your leadership and guidance, but we're going to go with the young guns and see what we can get out of them. All right. Patrick Patterson resigns with the Clippers. That's their Berton. So he's coming off. Didn't play that too many minutes, but he's their 3-point stretch guy off the bench. A sleeper pick again. Detroit Pistons. I told you this again. Jahlil Okafor moves over to the Pistons. Folks, this is a dangerous team right now. They let a couple people go I didn't like. Luke Kennard was one of those. He was a great talent. Not sure why they let him go, but man, this is something special here with the Pistons. We got to see who else they put in play. But they have Okafor, Mason Plumlee, Blake Griffin, Dwayne Dedmon, and then they added on Josh Jackson. Not bad for this team. Plumlee, this is the next move. Again, Denver gutting their team. Not sure I understand. They added on Jeremy Grant and Plumlee from Denver, who play with each other. With Blake Griffin and Okafor. Not bad. Still don't like the Luke Kennard move, though. Dwayne Bacon, finally an opportunity to play. He didn't really play much with Charlotte and is saying, hey, I need some time. He's going to head over to the Orlando Magic, and much needed help there in the small forward position, in my opinion. They really need talent. They just don't get talent for some reason. Clifford likes his hard-nosed guys. Bacon happens to be a hard nose with some talent, so I like this pickup. Didn't like the Ennis pickup again. I didn't like him picking up Ennis. Eubank re-signs, again, Spurs player there. Again, 3-point shooter. It does a little bit of everything. Coming off the bench here, 11, 12 man. Didn't even put the salary here, so they re-signed him. Wesley Matthews plans to go to L.A. Jesus, Lord God, help us, man. I mean, L.A. could just stop, man. Adam Silver, go do something with these, seriously, these motherfuckers. I mean, seriously, man. It's just too much. Get them out of here, man. What the hell they're doing? They're just taking over the Ponzi scheme. Nuggets signed another point guard here, Campazzo, out of probably some of the Spain league. I don't know too much about him. But again, out of Spain and 9 points and 6 assists in Spain. A little flashy. I don't know. We'll see what we get out of him. Sergio Rodriguez type. I don't know. 29-year-old decided to sign with the Nuggets, and not sure what the Nuggets are doing here. Dragic Leonard stay with the Heat, so they keep some of their foundation. That move that move that they lost to Portland, I mean, that's a little too much for me. Derrick Jones Jr., I think that was a stupid. That they should have re-signed Derrick. Timberwolves re-get their man. Ricky Rubio comes back. I told you, sleeper team, dangerous. We got to do a Minnesota video. Interesting. Then they get my favorite pick in the draft, Jaden McDaniels, and the draft rights. Jaden McDaniels was the other pick there. I love this, and I'm going to do my draft recap today too. All right. And now the Celtics trade Cantor back to the Blazers. Again, the Blazers, simple, slight moves that make for great improvements. He's a scorer. I think this is an awesome move. This is a solid 10-10 guy. Hey, Blazers, coming for you. Re-sign Anthony, one more run. McCullough, reinvigorated Lillard. Anthony Simons development. I like this. This was the Dedmon trade to the Pistons. Snell goes over to the Hawks. Again, the Hawks are looking to win now. And Snell is a 3-point gunner. Again, their youth movement and waiting for them to develop is not happening. They're trying to win this year. Bowman is waived, and the Pelicans re-signed Mr. Kyrie Thomas and Kenrick Williams and Frank Jackson. Where's Kyrie Thomas? So yeah, I'm sorry. So this is the waving of Kenrick Williams and guard Frank Jackson. Frank Jackson is going to draw some attention to him, athletic forward. Be interested to see who tries to pick up Frank Jackson. A nice little pick. He's not getting the minutes there with the Pelicans, but I think he can be fruitful for another team. So exciting free agency. It has to move fast. This is only this week. I'll get into next week in the next video. I'm out of here. Peace. All for sports. NBA is rolling. God dang.